So hello again, this is Ryan with the 2018 CX9. Doing a review now on the sound system of this car. So this is the GT, and the GT, as well as the signature one step above, comes with this BOSE 12 speaker premium sound system. You'd think it'd be amazing, and that's kind of what I thought it would be, but I'm a little bit disappointed on a few things. So the speakers seem to have a lot of kind of the medium range, and the bass is not as sharp and clean as you'd think it would be. So what ends up happening is it kind of just sounds like a cheap system. It does have a lot of speakers, and you do feel like you're in the middle. It does surround you quite nicely, but when it comes to the bass, which I'll show you in a sec, it's just not that great. So of course, because this is done on camera, it's not going to sound as great or as realistic as it would be if you were in the car. But we're going to try and walk you through as best we can. So, a few things. Of course, right here, this is beautiful. I mean, the system, don't get me wrong, the setup is awesome. You'll notice here, it doesn't have like your volume or your stereo settings or anything like that there. In fact, it's all here, kind of like the BMW iDrive. And then the volume control is here, so it's beautiful. When I'm driving, I just have my hand here, do a couple volume controls, and of course I go into here. Great. I mean, I think that's awesome. But I'm going to show an example with the bass. So what we've done here is I'm going to just go into the settings, and in the settings you will see how I have the bass that low. If I turn the bass up, okay, anything further than that, it just sounds muffled. Now, it's hard to hear over the recording, but the treble's great. I mean, it's sharp, and I always have the treble a little further up than the bass, but it's just bomb, 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 bomb. It's not good. So super disappointed. You can go down to the, fade balance. Those are normal features everyone's used to. Center point. It's kind of a neat feature. It sounds like when I don't have it on, you can actually, identify where the speakers are. They're down in the doors at the top. In the back, they're on the sides of the car. And they're even in the very back of this car as well. So again, don't get me wrong, the positioning of the speakers, great. It's just that bass, it really disappoints me. It's almost like a mid-range, it's flooding it. So, I mean, listen again, just So, we just go further down here. So, happy with it. Generally, where the positioning of speakers. So, here's another thing we're going to. Really quickly, I love that I can put my favorites, push that, and then here's my favorites. So we can go into, my contact favorites, and of course, my navigation, but sound, music, sources. So I got the radio, okay? Now the radio is got the same issue as XM satellite radio, where I find the bass is just too flooded, But here's what I have noticed, and maybe it's just me, but when I start going into more digital sources, so let me go back home, okay? Let's go into my entertainment, and instead of going into favorites, we're actually going to go into the source, okay? So I'm going to, instead of FM, AM, XM, and these other extras, which nobody uses and I'm not going to use, Bluetooth and my USB actually have pretty good quality sound. So I'll just load the USB. The USB lives in here, okay? So there's two USB ports, 1, 2. Right here is where the GPS is, okay? I promise I don't listen to this kind of music. Maybe I do. TikTok, oh dear God. But the bass is a little better here. And again, if I go all the way to the settings, okay, I can actually turn the bass up with the treble if I want, and I'm getting a pretty good bass out of it, whereas I have found, again, go back to the source of XM radio, it wasn't as good. So I want to do a quick review on the sound system. I was really expecting like awesome Bose 12 speaker premium sound system to be amazing, but again, you turn up the bass, it's something you'd get from a car in 1996. Like, not too impressed. So that's my opinion. Leave your comments below and remember to subscribe. I got more videos coming out. Thanks, guys.